So today we talk about Laravel Query Builder. So in previous video we retrieve the records in index method where we find the records from marks table, and that is basic get method in a query builder which retrieve all the records. Now I want to do something which is specific use cases. For example, I just show you when I run the project and there is data comes from marks table, but marks has foreign key with the subjects and users table. So that time we listed the things which is user ID and subject ID, but I want subject name and user name or user's name. So how we can make this possible? So we do the joining of what? We do the join for example, localhost 8000. I'm looking for the data for the marks, so I just say marks. So here you list the whole data, which is I already added in a marks table. But I want that student ID should be a student name, subject ID should be a subject name. So what to do? So here I can plan the join method. So how you can join the methods and how you can make this possible, because you have added the foreign key. Foreign key means how you can make this possible. For example, in a marks table, there is user ID, which is user's tables ID, where it is a primary key. So you will find this Parth Patel when in a marks table there is ID, user ID is 1. So these are the path record. If you think about subject ID, there is 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So these are the subjects. For example, 1 is Laravel, 2 is React.js. So here I want to make this joining with 3 tables. So how it is possible? So very simple, in Laravel Query Builder, you just plan what? You just plan the join method in a query builder. So I suppose to use the join as a method. First parameter is your another table. First table is marks, second table is users. In a users table, I want to join with that marks dot user ID, that is foreign key, and what is the primary key of users table, that is ID. So I suppose to use marks dot user ID equals to users dot ID. So when I do this, so here you can see I can find the records of students. Here you can see students name, mobile number, and everything you can find. So here I show you how you can make this debugging. Now I want subject name as well. So I supposed to use join, that is subjects. So in a marks table there is subject underscore ID, and here what I need to change, subjects dot ID. So that is another table I am finding as a joining with marks. So this two table I find in a response. Marks table is joined with the users and marks table joined with the subjects. So here you connect the whole data, which is marks and subjects. Sorry, users and subjects in a marks table. Now I want to show that I want to see this data in my table. So I want this name as a username, subject name, there is a column name subject name. So I just need to change here. So marks dot use dot name is a username, marks dot subject marks equals subject name. So in that way you will find name and subject name. Now you can see the data. I just remove that written because here is written, so it will return over here. So now the data goes in a marks. That marks will send to the list, and in a list I just show the name and subject name, save, everything is saved. Now I do the refresh. So I will find that student name as well as subject name. So in this way you can find the joining data in a such a tables with the primary key, foreign key. Now my goal is to I want find some specific data. For example, right now every subjects are listed over here. Now I want specific use case where I just want the specific subject name only. For example, I want data for the Laravel only. I want data for the React.js only, or I want data specific users only. So how you can plan the where clause in a query builder? So I just go in a theory where you can find the where clause. So how you can write the where clause? Where clause is added as a chain method in a after table. So here you can find that where which will be you can apply, or you can say before the get method. So I will try to put the where clause in my use case. I want only subject ID one, that is Laravel's only records I want to see. So right now there is a React.js and all the subjects JavaScript, Python. Now I do the filter, for example, where I wants only those marks dot subject underscore ID is one. What I'm putting, those subject ID 1, that is Laravel, that records only I want. So how I can do this with the where clause? So here you can see these are the only Laravel subjects. If I want another subject, for example, I want React.js only. So I put here 2 and I make this refresh. So only React.js comes. If I want something that is Laravel and React.js both, or I say I want something which is Laravel and specific exams. So I can add another where as well. For example, another where I put those subject ID 2 and there is all types of exams CI1, CI2, SWE. I want only CI1, so I say dot exam. Which exam? That is CIA1. So in that way, you will find only CI1 exam score for the React base. I say for the Laravel, so that is Laravel's CI1. So how you can make the filter of record using where clause? That is clear. So now I want to add another query in my box. For example, this is where clause with equals to. There is a equals to CI1 only. I want CI1 and CI2 both, and I want to make that as a like query. So how you can write as a like? So I just suppose write that is like, and I supposed to enter percentage CIA percentage. So that will as a wildcard. So what are the records in exams where the alphabet CIA, or we can say word CIA, that only comes. So here you can see that CI1 and CI2 marks comes. Those subject ID is 1, that is Laravel. Now, if you want something which is beyond something, for example, you want subject ID 1 and subject ID 2. So here you can plan that is wherein. Wherein you want to put that array. For example, I want subject ID 1 and 2 data. So when you plan that wherein, so here is a method wherein, which IDs for subject ID 1 and 2. So that is 1 and 2. So Laravel and React both will comes. Both will come. See, Laravel, React, Laravel, React. And if you want CIA, so that is CIA only. If you say CIA1 only, so that will come CIA1 only. If you say SWE, so then SWE only. So in that way, you can plan the perfect data filtration. So if you want to add more things in our query builder, so there is a where you can plan. Yes, another way to plan multiple where, that is also possible. Sometimes we are planning for two types of clause. So there is a simple use case. I want to show you something in a single part. For example, I want to put two different clause or expression. So first I want something those exam is CI1 and another one is I want subject is 1 only. So subject ID 1 and exam is CI1. That will comes in a single where clause. So that is also a way to do. That is associate array you can use and you will find both the cases as a filter. So how you can make this possible? I want below 20 marks students. So that is also possible. You can write in this way. Where? Okay. But when you are planning in this way, so that is not possible. So you can add another where. So I just want what? Those marks which is greater than 20. But there is no greater than 20. So I said less than 20. So that is what comes that 18 and 50 is less than 20. So here you can find this. So in this way you can do the where clause with the data filtration. Now we move ahead. I want something as a data which is or where. Sometimes we say either this or this. So how you can make this possible? So there is a or where also be there. For example, I suppose to say there is marks below 20 and suppose to or condition for CI exam. I say either that exam is CIE1 or below 20. I remove that subject ID so that all subjects will count those below 20 or that is CI1 exam. So how it will comes? So here you can see the data is either below 20. So or case is what? Either this or this. If I want and, so I can write and this is also possible, not and like this, but we can say and like this. Okay, this is possible. So there is a CA1 and what below 20. If you said or, then either this or this. So in that way, you can plan the where clause. Now we move ahead where I want to add something which is other than this. For example, yes, suppose I want specific field data. So how could I use this? So I just show you return. Here I find all the data which is coming from all different tables. But right now I am using only two things. One is student name and subject name. What about email, mobile and other fields? I don't want this. So here you can plan, that is after table you can plan select method where you mention your table's name dot star because we have made a join. So when you do the join, so there are multiple tables data comes. So I want marks table all these fields, and in a users table I just want name, and subjects table I just want subject name. So how you can make this possible? There is a something which is only specific things. So I just want two fields from other table and other like common for the marks table. So here you find that name of student and subject name. So that data processing part, it comes like less or optimize. So there is a select. Now, if you want something which is limited record, so you can set limit as well. For example, right now I have this many records. I just remove return, so you will find that in a table. So I have like this many records. I want only 5. So how we can make this limit? For example, I just say limit. Limit how much limit? I said 5. So I will find only 5 records. So that is help you in a pagination as well, and Laravel also support the pagination. So that is somewhat 5 only, right? So that is possible. Now, apart from this group by having all these possibilities be there. Now I want some average or aggregate functions. For example, average. I want average of all the students who have given Laravel exam CI1, and that I want to make something Laravel as a group, and what is my average is to the marks total and average. So how we can make this possible? So there is a where clause. I say suppose subjects dot id. What is subject id? I supposed to say 1. So that is Laravel marks on Laravel's Laravel subjects marks only counts and exam is this, and I remove that limit. So now I find only Laravel CI1 marks. I want average of this marks. So right now 3 records, but it is like 60, 120 because in your class it is 120. So there is 120. So here I want the total or average of it. So how could I find this? So I can make the average as a function. So that will find the only average of this mark. So how you find this? Get replaced with ABG. That is average. What of average, for what average? I said marks average. So here you find the marks average is 17.66. So when you are planning a dashboard, so that time you want this kind of aggregate functions. So what type of aggregate functions are there? So aggregate functions like mean, max, average, and sum. For example, I want what is the maximum marks. So I say max. So you will find max is 20. If I say mean, so that is mean, you can find the minimum marks. If you want total, so you will find sum, not total, sum. So you will find all three students total. So here in this way you can plan the aggregate as well. So I just supposed to remove that date only. So this is, you will find all the data, those Laravel subject, and that is CI1 exam. Now you want something in a join with, yes, select statement. I want to pass the row expression. So what does mean row expressions? So when you are planning to retrieve the data within that specific field, or you want to add some a virtual field that is doing something as operations. So where you can plan something as a DB row, and here I show you there is a count as a users count, and that is those status is group by. So that status is group by, and that is a count. So for now I just want the data, how many students who has appear a different subjects as a count. So for example, I give the demo where I do the group by with the subject ID or subjects, and then I do the total of it. So I doesn't require this many fields. So for now it is fine. I just create another one. I just make it comment. So I just give the demo how you can find the group by with that count of this. So for example, I say subjects count. How you can find subjects count? DB colon table, which table? That is marks table. How you can make that marks subjects tables count select here. How you can find this? There is a select as a method where you find what? Where you find subject underscore ID, there is group by subject ID, and where I want to do the total of each subjects, how many students from each subjects including CI1, CI2 and SWE. So that will count showing here. I just show you return. So here you will find in a subject 1, that is Laravel, that is React, that is this everywhere 999 records are there. Now I want specific where clause. For example, I want where exam CA1. So I say in which subject exam is, that is number of students in exam. If we want to check, I just remove one of the record. For example, in a marks, I just remove one of the record. For example, subject ID 1 and there are total 3 for CA1. I remove 1 and put this. For example, 1 and remove this. So here you will find it will be remove 1. And if you want subject ID as a name of subject, so what to do? You know very well. I want to do join. Join for subject ID with subject's ID. That is subject name. How you will find, because I want to add that field as well. So I say, for example, subject name subjects that you will find as a subjects dot subject name. But here is a problem. Yes, because I want to do the join, but I am not getting that subjects as a name. Okay, so how we can find this? So there is, I just need to do some R&D. But here, after joining, we can definitely find the records, which is subject ID and this. So once again, I try to subjects dot subject name. Still, I'm not getting because there is join difference. Let me try to move that method below this. No, still it is not finding. But here, after doing this, it may happen to find that subjects dot subject name. But it is possible when we do the joining, so we will retrieve the records of it. But right now we just avoid this case because we want just total of this. So I just supposed to show you how you can make this possible within the selecting. So that is count you will find as a total number of subjects from the number of students in each subject. So that is group by with having this many data. Now I just move, that is last case, if I'm not uh, going as, yeah, that is enough. I think join as covered. Yeah, you can also make something left join, right join. It is also sign you can change less than equals to or greater than equals to. So join means there is a post table, right, and users table. So which records many all the post table will cover, right join all the users table covers in that way. So that is the SQL part, left right join, right? And here also you can make something which is the advanced join clause, where within that you want something as a data, so that is subquery. So I think today it is enough to understand the types of query builder retrieving case. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining and do the subscribe for more programming videos. Thank you.